Oh my God, my eye just, it's like we started talking about it and it just started twitching.
Oh yeah, it is twitching.
Oh my God, it's full. That's crazy.
Yeah, let's get that on camera. Let's start now. From all the stress.
Whoa, that's why. Look at,
Yeah,
it's like I'm
I
blinking.
wear a patch. Patch
I have never had
ass.
my eye
It's
react
so
like this
funny.
before.
Yeah.
Does this
Yeah.
happen to people a lot? It was the funny thing was
Happens from time to
the other
time.
eye was itching.
Mm, 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 mm.
And then this one. Did I hit a nerve? What happened?
Maybe. Apparently dying.
Wow.
Hmm. See there?
You know what? You tell me when to hit record. My goodness. This
No,
eye is
you
gonna
tell me
twitch.
when to hit
Okay.
record.
Okay.
You
Okay.
and your eye get together and
Look,
tell me
we're
when to
fine.
hit
We're
record.
fine.
We
We're
should
fine.
just be a part of
I'm
it
gonna be
anyway.
like
This
this.
should absolutely make the
I'm
Patreon.
gonna be like this.
Yeah.
The whole time.
This is the behind the scenes that the people crave. So this is wonderful. I'll
My
put this
eye is
absolutely on the Patreon for
pulsing.
this
I'm
episode.
gonna be like this the whole
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
Suck.
It's like a new gay signal.
It should be.
It should be. Yeah. It's like, oh,
Like if you're trying to
first
tell
like
somebody's
what?
gay, I'd be like,
Oh. It's like I fucking what? Like they're oh God. Okay, you're gay.
This is Shana,
And Chris.
and we are Bad Queers. If you came out of the closet and got put in a box of stereotypes you don't belong to, then welcome to the Bad Queers Club.
All right, this week in Queer Urban Dictionary, I have limp-wristed. Mm-hmm. Limp-wristed is an offensive way to describe gay men, particularly feminine guys. My sentence is, it's been reclaimed as a fuck you to the gardening club and church mothers who called us limp-wristed once we were out of earshot. Limp-wristed.
That's an amazing sentence.
Yeah. I was like, no, that was specific.
That person took that very personally. That's what
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
So
We really have reclaimed limp-wristed because that is, I mean, that's it's I think it's it's pretty golden in the community. We love. You're like, okay. Yeah. Yes.
it's another hand
Yeah.
sign. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to
Yeah.
SpongeBob also for doing some heavy lifting with that,
Indeed.
So
Doesn't get enough respect on that. Yeah.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. My queer urban dictionary word of the week is clam jam.
Speaking
Clam
of SpongeBob,
jam.
it's like a lesbian bar at Bikini Bottom. You going to the clam jam? What's Mr. Krabs' daughter's name? She'd
Pearl.
be there. Pearl would absolutely go to the clam
She
jam.
would be the bouncer. What do you mean?
Yeah, no, she would at least be the GM. Like she would be in her
Minimum, yeah.
father's like footsteps
Yes.
of being like really cheap and all that. But this Saturday at the clam jam.
Wow. Yeah. She'd have a drink called like Pearl Water. Some shit.
Pearl water.
Yeah. Some
I
sort
love
of
it.
like seltzer.
New show. Would it be on Nickelodeon?
Bikini Bottom at night. Be like,
Exactly.
I'm gonna get in the bottom of your bikini. Like that's what it's gonna.
I always thought that was very funny and also like indicative of the times because the 2000s were fucking nuts, but like that it was Bikini Bottom was the name
and where
of
the crabs live.
Yeah.
Is that Bikini Bottom
amongst other things.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
Clam Jam, sorry.
We just ruined a
Clam
lot
jam
of SpongeBob
tangent.
for people. So thank you
Yeah.
so much. A clam jam is the woman's version of a cock block.
Okay.
When someone is preventing you from pulling someone either on purpose or by accident. Got this definition from Nonchalant Mag. So basically, my sentence is, I finally got the courage to talk to the woman I was making eyes with, but her friends clam jammed me when I got near her.
Either good or bad friends,
Yes. And this definition said it's like a woman's version of a cock block, but I would just say it's the opposite version of a cock block.
Yeah, you would think that would be kind of a joyous thing.
Clam jam.
Clam jam. Well, we know.
Shut
We don't get into it, but it sounds like it'd be great. So
all right. Wow. That's SpongeBob thought. Great.
Clam jam.
Great.
That's
all
the
right.
name of our lesbian bar in Bikini Bottom.
In Bikini Bottom.
So,
Clam jam.
Yeah.
Did we ever figure out who we're praising?
I don't know, friend. What do you think? What are you about to say? I was wondering. What are you gonna say? What feels good? Go with what feels great.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, go
Now
ahead.
we got to
Go with
change
whatever
what
you
I
think.
have
Yeah,
been
whatever
saying
you think.
for
Whatever you think.
years.
Go ahead.
For
Whatever. What's on your heart? Sing out
years.
your heart.
I hate your church
What's
voice.
it about to be?
Yes.
What you gonna choose? You gonna kiss Biden's hand or what you gonna do?
Pray tell. The category is we're doing some Olympic wrap-ups. That's all I got. That's all I got. I was just like, pray tell. The category
Uh-huh.
is we got to wrap up the Olympics. And we know
Hmm.
that when this episode comes out, it's about a week later because we had a guest on and we had to talk about the
Yep.
things. But we're gonna make sure that we talked about the Olympics and we're gonna talk about all the things that are current. So this may some of the topics that we discussed today may be a bit delayed in the news cycle, but hopefully for some of you it's a good catch up, and for some of you it's still something new. But we had to have this moment. I'm traveling, so we had to, get some things in, but just wanted to
Hmm.
be transparent with you all on the timing of this if it sounds a little bit older than what happened. But we're still going to talk about the Olympics because we were very invested and we want to go ahead and do the recap of it. So, friend, which sport ended up being like your favorite to watch? Best of the best. You're like, yes, this one did it.
God, we already talked about Peacock's coverage was really good.
Mm-hmm.
It felt good to, turn on the games and sports and matches during the morning, especially out west, and just have Olympics for the early part of the day. But I would say my favorite to watch, anything Biles in gymnastics was great. Soccer was great. Again, those jerseys really makes a difference.
It really helped.
It was really all great. Obviously, for this also breaking is the breaking news of like ray gun for breaking. I told you that breakdancing was going to be something else, and it's just been very interesting with the Australian woman that pretty much fixed her way into
Yeah. Did
breakdancing.
you see she
All
did a
that.
post today
No, I haven't
about
seen it.
she did a post today about cyberbullying.
Oh
So
God, they
she
always
was
go to that
she was
white
talking
woman
about that.
tears.
She did the
Yeah,
cyberbullying
of course.
post, and it was like 3 swipes on Instagram to like watch the full thing, and I was like, I can't. I can't. I
Mm-mm.
already know what you're
No,
saying. I
she ought to
already
be
know.
ashamed. She
I
really ought
already
to be
know.
ashamed what she did,
We
allegedly.
should have known. Actually, I knew when she walked
Hmm.
out in the actual uniform that they assigned, because everybody else wasn't out there in uniforms that were assigned to them. They were like, cool, this is nice, but I'm going to wear my outfit. Plus, the
Yeah,
person who got kicked out because they came in and did a protest after their performance. Kudos to
yeah,
them. But
yeah.
I knew as soon as that person came out with that
Like,
little
oh
that
hell.
little golf hat that was in their full Australian outfit, I said, this is
Full.
not. You
Mm.
better either be amazing or this is going to go downhill quickly. And lo and
This is hip
behold,
hop. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, and 4,
That's
and
all it
boom,
was.
clap.
Yeah. I'm glad it got on the map. Some people were talking about should they take it off in LA for 28.
Oh, they
I don't
already
think they
did.
should. Did
They
they
already did.
really?
Yeah, it is not
Oh,
on LA.
I thought it would be perfect for LA. I was like,
I
I don't know
thought it
why
would
we're
be
doing
perfect
this
for LA.
in
Like this would be
Paris,
the
but
redemption moment.
exactly.
But they said,
Wow.
no, we're going to take that off.
Well, it's because it was a joke. It was like you had the judges in like Kangol hats and like who the fuck are they? And then the
Hmm.
whole thing was like a joke. There were some obviously good athletes, but then the videos that come out afterwards of like all the really good breakdancers in different countries that should have been there to make it. But damn, I didn't hear that they weren't doing it in LA. I just knew it was going to be a big redemption story, and then like LA, like it would be
Hmm.
great to have that. But that's sad. I'm sad that it was one and done, but it was done so poorly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean I enjoyed the Olympics as a whole. Volleyball is fun to watch. It's always a bunch of shit I would never really watch. Love the skateboarding. Skateboarding was like in the beginning of the games, but all of them are great. It's just great to watch these athletes and see their stories and what they had to
Hmm.
overcome. Obviously track and field and
Obviously. My goodness.
obviously.
My goodness.
So yeah, did you have a favorite that you like watching, or were you just like
I think I
me
got
where
the
I'm just like
most.
sports,
Oh,
sports?
I was immersed in sports all day, every day,
Mhm.
all day, every day.
Yeah.
Like me sitting
Yeah.
on my couch now, I'm just like,
What do we do?
what am I
Yeah.
supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? I
Hmm.
mean, countdown to the Paralympics because
Yep.
having
Coming
the
up.
sports on all day is so great. But no, I think my heart was most invested in gymnastics. Like that was
Yeah.
the one that I went back, I watched in full, was able to pay attention to it. consistently. Soccer, also the other one that I made sure I watched in full. Women's soccer, get it correct.
Mhm.
That I was watching in
No other.
full. I just wanted to be sure that if anybody was questioning
I
it.
was like, is there a men's
Look,
team? So
they were there allegedly.
in the
Um,
stands?
I caught one of their games and I just said,
Oh,
this
hmm.
is
Okay.
unnecessary. I also learned that they only have their U23 teams come and play in the Olympics, which was a thing. And then
Hmm.
you could only bring like 2 to 4 senior people, I
Mm.
think.
It might be
And I
for the
was just
best
like,
for
who
them.
came up with this rule and why?
Mm.
But
Mm.
whatever. So yeah, and then women's basketball.
Hmm.
I actually did enjoy the men's basketball. I was a good job. This
Oh
was a
yeah,
great time.
that those
That
last two
ending,
games. Woo, Steph.
sir.
You know,
Sir, it makes me happy
Steph
that
is
I was
Steph.
there for the era of once the Chase Center was built and was able to go to multiple games to watch him play. Like that brought me
Yeah,
joy that
yeah.
I was able to be there in this
I'm
era.
still Oracle Steph and the Warriors when they were in Oakland was really it. Like
It
that
was
era
it was a whole
specifically.
different.
It built the Chase Center, but it was
It
such a
did.
different, you know. So
Whole
we
different
got to
vibe.
see that, from beginning to end. And like
Hmm.
everybody that got to, this first time Steph was on the Olympic team, them being able to root for him and to see Steph really go off. Like we'd see that on random games during the regular season, but like, and obviously the playoffs, but like, yeah, Steph is just a whole other just best shooter ever. Just, I mean, ridiculous. That ending to the final was crazy, but so was the Serbia game to even get them there and all that. But yeah, when he hit those like four threes in like under 2 minutes, like it's just ridiculous. It's unreal, and
Hmm.
it was great to see Braun and Kevin Durant and Steph all play together, which we don't get to see and all that. So shout out to them and all
Yep.
that.
I was like, the women's basketball final out of control.
Very much so.
One step.
Very much so. One
One
step.
step.
One step.
My goodness.
Yeah.
That was a time I was stressed. I was yelling. I was doing the things. But same with the U.S. Women's National Team. So those are probably my top that I
Yeah.
enjoyed. I did unsuspectingly get into rugby.
Okay.
I caught a bunch of the kayak stuff. I don't know how, but I
Okay.
caught
I
a lot
always
of
miss
it.
the
Yeah.
water stuff like that, the rowing and
I caught a lot of that. I caught some of the sailing.
hmm.
Um, but the kayak stuff was
If they have
fascinating.
sailing, then they should put breaking back in because that's all right. And then I watched surfing too. I love that that was
Surfing
included.
was dope. It actually did remind me of the movies too. I was like, wow, look at this being the one sport that they got right
Yeah.
in all of
Love
this. I
that.
was like, good for
Yeah.
you. Good for you.
Yeah.
So that
I love
was
handball, love water polo as
handball.
well. Hmm.
I did get like mad at it, but also enjoyed it. I don't know. The
Yeah.
madness was irrational. But once I figured out the rules, I was just like, how in the world? And then I did see a lot of water polo. Did see a lot
Okay.
of water
Yeah.
polo. Yeah.
I always like water polo. So
Hmm.
yeah. So it was
Yeah.
all great.
It was a good time.
We we ended up at 199 out athletes at the Olympics.
Great
So that was
representation.
cool.
Let's break
Shout out to
200 in LA.
everybody. Oh yeah. It should. It absolutely should.
Yep.
Um, but it was great. It was great. Um, a third of all out LGBTQ plus athletes won a medal. So in comparison to the other nations, of course, the US took home the most medals, but they tied with China for the most gold medals, right? I think we tied with China, or maybe China won, whatever. But as a team, like Team LGBTQ, we would be seventh place out of all the countries. So, shout out to us,
Shout out to us.
shout out to us.
For real.
Um, yeah.
And speaking
And
of
our
just
biggest
Team
shout
USA,
out. Oh, I thought you were getting to this really good litigation news, but
no,
yeah,
no, not yet.
the
Not yet.
biggest.
No, we're gonna hold that. We're gonna hold that because it deserves all the smoke.
Mhm.
Um, if we just look at Team USA, the women of Team USA won so many medals at the 2024 Olympics. If they were a country, they would have ranked third in the world.
Mm. Wow.
So to have our intersectional identities coming in the top 10 feels great.
Yeah.
Feels great.
Yeah.
And 65% of USA women athletes took home gold.
You're welcome, America.
Okay. Representation.
You welcome. Shout out to the
Representation.
3x3 women's team too, because them eking out a bronze, it was looking crazy. So
Miraculous how they got a
yeah, I
bronze.
don't know how they
I
got
don't.
a medal, but woo.
Good for y'all.
Hmm.
Good for you. But no, now
I was
let's
like,
go
they
to the
won?
litigation.
Wow, good for them. Good for them. Because I was like, oh, I didn't
It
even think they
was
would be able to
it was
qualify.
looking dark for them for a bit.
Yeah, I was like, oh, they're gone. But yeah, 3x3 is also very interesting to watch as well.
Yeah. But like we said before,
Very
that
interesting.
other countries have these folks playing year round doing three by
Hmm.
three, and we just pull people
Yeah,
and say, like, it'll be fine.
yeah.
I don't
And I
think we
know
can do that for
with
LA.
both our basketball teams too, it's sort of the same thing. I know at least with the men's side, like they're together for maybe a month, all together playing and all that. Like that is their disadvantage when they do play international teams that are always together, have been together for years.
Hmm.
Um, Not gonna be easy, well, for the men's side in LA, but love the Nike ad of them saying every 4 years countries compete to be second place for
Whoever did that
shouting out the
ad,
women's. That is brilliant.
whoever did that ad,
I was like, God damn,
stocks, raises, title, just
all
make them a
that.
president. Like,
They won't. They'll get a pizza party,
yeah,
but
basically.
for sure. But shout out to the women's basketball team. They're like 60, 62 straight games they've won. They've had dominance, 30-year dominance, the most dominant
Hmm.
Olympic team ever. So that's yeah, Diana Taurasi getting her sixth gold medal. Just great. Just great.
Hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, on to litigation. First off, congratulations to Amani Khalif, who won her gold medal in boxing. This was a boxer that was accused of being a trans woman by J.K. Rowling, Elon Musk, all the right wingers just jumped out the window. And now those two in particular are named in a lawsuit for cyberbullying against Amani Khalif. And that was just as sweet as probably the Olympic win because I hope she gets all of the monies for those two and more. I hope she goes after every big publication and person, the Piers Morgan, everybody talking shit. And sues the fuck out of them if she can. So I was happy to hear that. She was like, enjoyed the Olympic win, like, and then got with Laura, like, let's get these lawsuits off because, yeah, unreal what
Hmm.
she had to go through, and to triumph in that way is amazing. And now give her the monies. So shout out to her. And we have the Paralympics are happening between August 28th and September 8th. So y'all make sure you support. But yeah, until next time, LA 28,
Hmm.
Let's see. I saw that they said they wanted to be LA wants their events to be walkable. Like all their events be like a carless thing. And I was like, LA is saying that? All right, we'll see it.
Okay.
We'll see.
Where are y'all building that?
We will see. I
Where are you
don't
building
see
that?
it. Don't, you know. I don't
How are you
I don't
making
know
that
how they're
happen?
gonna do
LA
that.
is already not a walkable city. Like, what?
It's not. It's not even good with public transportation. Like they built out
No.
their little metro thing a little bit better, but it is the least public transportation friendly city that I've been to. Like I was like,
Hmm.
everybody has theirs pretty built out, not LA. So very interested to see how this is going to go. They hosted in 1984, so they have some structures probably still in place, but yeah, going to be interesting. Going to be interesting for sure. So Olympics. Olympics. All right, let's move on to our next category. And we're staying in lawsuits. Dearica Hamby has filed a federal discrimination and retaliation lawsuit against the WNBA and her former team, the Las Vegas Aces, claiming that they treated her unfairly when they found out she was pregnant. So this story has been ongoing. The WNBA had investigated this separately and handed out punishment to the Aces in the form of taking away a draft pick, and Becky Hammon was suspended like 2 games, something like that. But this is a federal discrimination lawsuit against now the WNBA and the Aces. And some of this stuff that came out is just it's sad to see. I mean, I feel like the next category and this one are just like sad personally for us, or for me
Hmm.
for sure with Aces. But like, and I see people calling for Becky Hammon to get fired. Either way, I was like, yeah, she could. Um, because yeah, this is gross. This is gross stuff. This is very disappointing. But Hamby alleges that when she announced her second pregnancy in the fall of 2002, she experienced repeated acts of intimidation, discrimination, and retaliation that culminated in the January 2023 trade to the Los Angeles Sparks, which she's on now, and hooping it up. Okay. Like
Hmm.
just doing a wonderful job. She said once she signed that extension with the Aces, and by the way, the Aces, she was with the Aces for 8 seasons. They drafted her when they were the San Antonio Stars. She was with them for 8 years, 8 seasons. So she signed an extension with the Aces in July of 2022. 3 weeks later, she realized she was pregnant. Hamby claims that she told Becky Hammon, the team's head coach, and other members of the team staff about the pregnancy in early August 2022, before even confirming the pregnancy with her doctor. So she kept playing for the team and helped the Aces win a WNBA championship in September of that year. Uh, during a parade celebration, celebrating the victory 2 days later, she revealed the pregnancy to the fans and the team. And she said after that, the shit just started. So she
Mm.
revealed some of the retaliatory attacks, which included them telling Aces players not to talk to her, refusing to invite her to the White House to celebrate the team's victory, which is fucking nuts, and then
Hmm.
trying to access her private medical records. Um, Also, the WNBA teams pay for housing for their players. So she was told to leave team housing without explanation in January. And then Becky Hammon had asked if she had planned her pregnancy. And when Hamby said she didn't, Hammon allegedly told Hamby that she was not taking proper precautions to not get pregnant, questioned her commitment to the team and whether she'll be able to play in the next season, and said she was a question mark. So totally mistreating her from, the whole front staff on. So even when the WNBA did their investigation, it was about a month and they came back. Like they found out pretty immediately, like there was some bullshit going on. And so after all this, you know, Hamby was again traded to Sparks and everything. And yeah, I'm glad she's doing a federal lawsuit with this because this is again disgusting that this goes on. I know Skylar Diggins Smith had similar
Hmm.
retaliatory acts when she was pregnant with the Phoenix Mercury. So you would think with the WNBA that they would be a leader in this because
Right.
it's just obviously, but yeah, not this isn't great. This isn't a good look at all. And it's not, just one team that has acted this way. So again, make a example out of them. Get your money. Do something, and especially put that on the federal level. I think it's great that she's doing a federal lawsuit. Like, let's escalate this, like, for it. So, what do you think of the new information that came out, or some of the, I guess, more details of what came out and what she dealt with?
I had a feeling this wasn't done because she did
Hmm.
end up going to the Los Angeles Sparks fairly quietly and now has just been coming out and building up and dominating, honestly.
Hmm.
And it just felt like it was a little too easy. Like when she made the announcement, and we had talked about it when it first happened around how she felt and that it was a complete surprise to her and how she was mistreated. So I could only imagine that they spent this time just collecting evidence.
Hmm.
So I'm pretty sure there are lots of receipts. I'm pretty sure there are lots of conversations, possibly recordings that they're going to have to put together. And I'm not
Yeah.
surprised. But something also tells me Becky is not going anywhere.
Yeah, that one, I don't know. They're not going to get rid of Becky.
They're not going
They're
to get
not
rid of
going to
Becky.
unless something wild comes out. Like if there are some recordings and she's like sounding off and sounding crazy, they
Yeah,
might succumb to.
that would be
But
the
it'd have to be
level. And
that
even then, they
that it
would
would
still him and
they would
Ha
still they
over
might
that.
suspend her for like a full season. They might do something like that, like they did with
Right.
you remember the Celtics head coach that's
Yes.
now at the Rockets. Like they suspended him for a season, but he was also after that free to sign with another team. But
Hmm.
yeah, it would have to be something very explosive because she even with that with the WNBA investigation, it was like it's 2 games and a draft pick. It's slap on the wrist,
Hmm.
considering. So very, very interested to see where this goes. But yeah, I guess it never seemed like it was over. Um, because even just having the WNBA investigated, they're only gonna do so much. They're like,
Hmm.
okay. Like it's like getting the police to investigate themselves. Like,
Right.
oh, well,
Yep.
mm,
Well, I hope Dearica gets the justice that she deserves.
mm-hmm.
It's just unfortunate that I don't think it's gonna go with Becky's firing.
No, that one, I think that one's out of reach a little bit, but you never know.
You
You
never know. You
you
never know.
really never know. You
That's just
really
my
never know.
guess. We
Yeah,
could be very much loud and wrong. So, and that's okay. And that's
we'll
okay.
see.
So but
Hmm.
Dearica deserves that. Anybody, especially because after Skylar and her, like that's unacceptable.
Yeah, yeah. And just the
Unacceptable.
easiest thing to lead on that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. Maternity leave, child like just well-being and all that. Like, that's the easy thing to plan for. And if you're like looking at it in a business sense, because I was like talking to my cousin about it, and she was like, "Oh, like I could." She was saying she could kind of sympathize with like the team being like business wise, like how this can throw a wrench in things. But I was like, yeah, first off, if you're a billionaire owner, like this isn't what you make money off of to begin with, but like you own a sports team, so like injuries happen.
Hmm.
Things happen, shit happens, and they kept that abusive girl on the team. Quiet as it kept her on
Hmm.
the team. I know that last charge was like dropped, but she also had done it before. So, but yeah, like you plan for injuries, you plan for different uh things happening. I think her 8 seasons with the team and like her being loyal to the team for that long and being there is like that should have counted for something.
Hmm.
And imagine if they would have just treated her well. And let's say I was like also it's not that they can't feel a way that that just happened, but you certainly don't treat your employees like that or just treat people like that. Like, when she announced her pregnancy and all that. Because imagine if they did support her, affirm her, and kept her on the team. If Dearica Hamby was on this Aces squad, like, I mean, just yeah. But
Right.
you know,
And even like doing the
so
math. So she finds out she's pregnant in August. So what? She's having the baby in like April, May.
yeah,
That's the beginning of the season.
yeah, she would have been back. She would have been back. They play a very short season compared
Yeah.
to the
And
other
they're
leagues.
like women athletes are very aggressive on their like return.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
Dearica knows what it's like. She's had a kid before in the league, so
Mm-hmm.
she knows what it takes and she knows how her body works to be able to get back. And if I remember correctly, she had a quick turnaround for her first kid.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, what were we concerned about? You had a dominant team.
And that's also another part of it is like yeah, they had a dominant team. They weren't like a hurting franchise trying to get these things together. It's just, yeah, unnecessary and just like nasty and evil to do that.
Hmm.
So, yeah, very surprised. I mean, not surprised, but just very, very sad that they would do something like that and just at the state of things, like with how they handled that. But, mm, yeah, I hope she gets all the justice that she
Hmm.
deserves. So, and teach them a lesson. Stop doing that shit. Like it's okay. It's okay. You could
Yeah.
support your players that get pregnant and expanding their families. It's fine. You should support them. Like it,
Hmm.
if anything, that could turn into more ad dollars. Like I think that's an amazing
Okay.
thing. And I
That's a
forgot what
perfect
interview
partnership.
perfect partnership. And just to show that, like I forgot what interview I was watching, but it was somebody, I want to say it might have been Candace Parker talking about it, but getting grown woman strength after having a kid, like coming back
Yeah.
stronger. Like there's so many, not that everybody is gonna bounce back and be great. It doesn't always work that way, and everybody's bodies are different. But like, damn, just support support your players. Like this is
Hmm.
all of these women are at like childbearing ages, so that could happen at any point. Like I don't. It's like, why are you surprised that that could happen? Like
Hmm.
they're not gonna plan their reproducing plans around y'all. Like, what? So do better.
Do
Do
better.
better. Mm, Speaking of do better.
The transitions today are impeccable. Great job, friend. Great job. Speaking of do better, our next category is what is going on with Kehlani?
Mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. And by the
Now,
time this comes out, it could be more
something
stuff.
something else could happen, but we just, we felt very behind. We're going to talk about this in the essence that we don't 100% know what is going on. So we're going to talk through the resources that we have looked into with this. But mind you, you all know that we're not like 100% a real gossip podcast type thing. But
Mhm.
this tickled our fancy because Kehlani tickles us on a regular basis. So we decided that we were going to attempt to pull together and talk about some things that is happening with her. And we're just going to do our best. And
Share
it's
notes.
going to be
I
this is
heard.
this is a live sharing notes of what's happened. So we may be wrong. This could change.
Yeah.
All of these things could be updated.
Yeah.
We're just going to go with the flow of this, and I hope you all enjoy that. But before we get into the fire that is happening around Kehlani's life, I do have to give Homegirl kudos for her Tiny Desk concert.
It was wonderful.
It
I
was a
feel
good
like we
time.
should start with a
It was a good time.
positive
Yeah.
because it has been all downhill from there.
Yeah.
But that was a great Tiny Desk. Like
Mm-hmm.
all of the songs I wanted to hear. I still love Distraction so much. And her new album was great.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. It was a wonderful Tiny Desk. And when she ended the Tiny Desk talking about the genocides that are going on, I did think, oh, I hope this. I mean, she's been speaking out about it, but I was like, I hope this doesn't like do anything negative to her career because I don't think the people who would want to ruin her career like this would put an extra battery in their backs.
Yeah.
But then it went from that to that's maybe that same weekend the photo comes out of her posing with Chris Brown.
I didn't even see that photo.
You never saw that?
No, I
That's what
heard
people
about
are
it.
saying. It's really gone down from there.
Let me
Not so much the Tiny Desk,
let
but
me
like
pull
after
this
the
up.
Tiny Desk, it was a picture of her with Chris Brown, and he captioned it "twin," and everybody's like, "What the fuck, Kehlani?" Like I've been defending you. And for those who don't remember, I mean, obviously Chris Brown comes with all the Chris Brown things that he done, but separately, him and Kehlani's relationship is strained because he was mocking them attempting to commit suicide when they were dating Kyrie Irving a couple years back.
Mm-hmm.
And Party Next Door had posted a photo that looked like Kehlani was in his bed. And this is while they were dating Kyrie. And the internet was in an uproar about that during that time, like, oh, wow, kind of thing. And Kehlani was uh, allegedly attempted suicide, and Chris Brown mocked that, saying like, "Nah,
Yeah.
fuck that. Like, you are mad you got caught." All this like really nasty stuff, in response to that. So no one had seen them together since then. So then they pop up with the twins photo. So that's when it really started going downhill because the people who do support Kehlani were just very confused with that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the R&B girls, first off, y'all got to understand these R&B girls love Chris Brown. They do. It's been Victoria Monet, Money Long, Kehlani, like all these people, Kelly Rowland, we talked about like episodes ago. So like, although the public feels their way about Chris Brown, the R&B girlies tend to like Chris Brown and support Chris Brown. So
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really shocked to see that photo, but it's gone down ever since.
Really, truly, completely. There
Really
was a whole
has.
thing about Kehlani being in a cult,
Yes.
and initially, apparently, allegedly, her
Got to say like all
ex.
those.
Okay, literally, that's
initially,
initially,
apparently,
apparently, allegedly,
allegedly.
her ex-boyfriend, baby daddy, accused her of being in a cult. Said that she was in a cult, was worried that the baby was in danger. Kehlani comes back and says, "I can be a part of a religious group. Leave me alone, and I would never do anything to hurt my baby." Um, and then that just continued to go downhill because Kehlani decided to file a restraining order against the ex as he shares receipts amidst abuse claims. So before, when his name is Javon Young White, took to social media to state that now with all of these things out in the open, actually he's going to retract and they're just going to keep the details private about their familial matters and whatever. But of course, somebody got a hold of the new court documents because TMZ just be out here in these streets doing the things. So TMZ reported that Kehlani filed a restraining order against Javon, claiming that he called her a bitch and a liar and said they trapped him. And said that Kehlani went on to say that Javon had been abusive for years, but they chose to file the restraining order in mid-June after he had become enraged and smashed through their locked bedroom door in a fit of anger. This was at a time when he was staying with Kehlani and their 5-year-old at Kehlani's home. And so apparently the fight happened because Kehlani had questioned why he filed for public assistance while living with them. And apparently, while he was there, all he was doing was smoking marijuana and consuming other drugs. And he would just disappear for long periods of time. And he wasn't taking care of himself. And whenever he would take their daughter out, that she would come back just not looking great, would be filth, quote unquote, she returned filthy and reeking of marijuana. And so that is what happened in that. But then when TMZ's report came out, Kehlani released a statement on Instagram that said, I did not make a statement, nor did I go to TMZ about my business. So each time any of these things has come out, there have been like a second follow-up. It's the same with the ex-boyfriend, baby daddy, who come out and be like, I didn't say that she was in a cult after it was said of that. So that was a whole thing. I was like, there were screenshots, there were things posted. Javon was over here stating that he had been lied on and manipulated for years. It's finally coming to an end. He's glad it's out in the open for everyone to see. He has evidence for everything. So it's a mess. It's a mess. Apparently, a judge did sign off on the temporary restraining order, and Kehlani has sole custody of their daughter until September 3rd, which is when the hearing will be. So we're going to hear more about that. But also, in the midst of all of this, so we have the cult, we have the alleged apparent baby daddy, ex-boyfriend drama. But then on top of that, there's apparently a fan who has crossed some boundaries with Kehlani as well. And Kehlani took to her story to say that she tried to handle the matter privately on numerous occasions. And it's now the person has been accused Kehlani of harassment. And she knows that once she speaks on it, it brings a lot of attention to this person. She never wanted them to be bullied or have mass amounts of people in their direction. But the problem kept growing, and she said it needs to be addressed. So she said, while I already have my head down, I am being kicked by an old friend. I met, and she gave first and last name, Kayla Cotton, in a virtual meet and greet when she was on hospice, said it was her dying wish to meet Kehlani. Kehlani hit her up, hooked her up with some things, gave her some backstage passes, thought that she was really kind and inspiring. They stayed in contact, and they talked nearly every day. Kehlani took her to college basketball games and watched the games online together via her phone when she was on tour. She came to various shows. Lots of spending time. Kayla began updating Kehlani and her friend Tashi about her declining health every day. Apparently, it wasn't looking good. Apparently, allegedly, it was not looking good. And she was sharing like what her funeral plans were and all of that. And then she said, Kayla apparently said that she couldn't trust her family to handle her the right way. And apparently they had like a light exchange about spreading their ashes in Hawaii. And then Kayla was trying to get Kehlani to be her power of attorney. And Kehlani was like, I've never been anybody's power of attorney. I don't even know what that means. Kehlani bought her the casket outfit as a gift. And because they had like grown close, they, were talking regularly, all of this stuff. So then apparently Kayla went into remission. They celebrated on the phone. As Kehlani got ready for the album, Kayla was sent her 2 long texts in a row reiterating that Kehlani wasn't being responsive or attentive enough anymore. And when Kehlani didn't respond to the last one, she decided to call her ex-girlfriend to tell her what I've been doing since she was single, and all that, because Kayla had also,
ex?
yeah.
Which one?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because remember earlier this year, allegedly Kehlani got married and divorced. So we don't
I
know.
know, out of nowhere. And
Okay,
that I
we
did
don't
not,
know.
I don't know.
So
Yeah.
it just said the most recent
Goodness
girlfriend.
grace.
Just the most recent
Okay.
girlfriend.
Okay.
So then she her Kehlani's friends started to let her know like what was going on, um, addressing the harm she caused with her, and finally to address that. So then this person came back to say that like Kehlani was harassing her, was ganging up on her, was sending her sexually explicit photos, and all of these things.
Mm.
And so Kehlani had to come on here and speak to the fact that that was not happening. And having those stories used against her was a problem. And if Kayla is willing to have this mediated privately and be honest about the situation, I'm willing to not post screenshots of that.
Mm.
As to me, that's an invasion of privacy. Kehlani says she is focused on her child and the matters surrounding her, and that doesn't need to be drawn out any longer and needs to be handled how it should have been between friends. So basically, this is like Kehlani's call out to say, I have the receipts. Stop saying your stuff and leave me alone.
Yeah.
This is what happens. You cross the lines with some of these fans. So
Mhm.
Kehlani has been going through it,
Yeah.
to say the
Very
least.
hard to parse what's real, what's not. I don't think, and this is including Kehlani in this, I don't think anybody's like a really credible person to take their word on for some of this. Like, I don't know, some of this deep dive stuff that's coming out on like Twitter and threads, you just don't know what to believe. Um, but I hope their child is fine. I hope that the baby in
Mm-hmm.
this situation is okay. And woof, yeah, I know fans are already saying like, Kehlani, don't go on tour right now. Like just hold off on the tour.
Like, we'll still be
It
here.
will be interesting to see how this develops.
Yeah.
I didn't also know her baby daddy's brother is Jabuki, which I thought that was like,
Oh,
oh, didn't know. Hmm.
didn't know.
I guess I kind of
Wow.
see it now. Like when I see a picture, I'm like, oh, I saw a picture of them together. I was like, oh yeah, okay.
Look at us learning life. Learning
Yeah.
life.
But why I say Kehlani is not totally credible in all this, because I don't think all of it's true. But yeah, some of the ways in which it's coming to light how they move with their significant others is very questionable. Even having this marriage thing, um, marriage and divorce, that that's interesting. There's some allegations about the basketball playing ex, the Kiera Russell stuff. It's interesting. Never know. Some other stuff is coming out and people, sharing their different stories. So we don't know any of these celebrities. We
Nope.
don't.
Sure don't.
All we know is like Kehlani is talented
Mm-hmm.
and makes great music
Mm-hmm. Beautiful
and
gowns.
beautiful gowns.
Mm-hmm.
So that is I praying for all of those involved because I don't know
Absolutely.
what else is going to come
Absolutely.
out. Yeah, but they probably should hold up on anything. Just like make sure
Like just for
everything's.
them. Also because I can't make it to their concert when they come to Chicago. So push
You're
it
like
back.
that's kind of work
Push it
out for me.
back.
Also the baby daddy living on property in the back home, it's like,
It's
all
giving
right.
Stedman.
It
Like an
is, and
unhealthy Stedman.
it's given a stick up. Be unhealthy because Stedman is, we don't know Stedman, but he has been the gold standard of a great supportive partner that stays out of the way, doesn't
Mm-hmm.
embarrass his lady and everything, like truly enjoying his life.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, trying to get public assistance while you're living in the back of Kehlani's backyard is interesting. But you just never know these things. Like you never know if there's any financial control or abuse going on. Like we really don't know these celebrities. We really don't know any of these people. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see what develops and probably have some updates. And, by the time this comes out, there'll probably be more that comes out. So,
Yeah.
woof. Yeah, there's something pretty much every day. But after that Chris Brown photo, it's been nothing but bad press and bad news
Yeah.
for Kehlani. Yeah. Woof. All right. Well, that is our category is. So we're going to move on to our advice segment. Am I bad queer? Send your questions to us on our website at badqueers.com. You could DM us on IG at badqueerspod. or email us at badqueers@badqueers.com. So this first one is from Christina. Christina asks, am I a bad queer? My family is incredibly supportive of my identity, almost too supportive. My dog is really trying to be in this show today. I came out to my family a year ago that I was lesbian, and ever since my parents have been trying to set me up with one of their close friends' daughter, who is also a lesbian. I am not attracted to this person and have no interest, but they keep forcing the issue. Your parents? That's crazy.
Mm,
The parents.
right.
That's a little. Mom, please. And I know that the woman they are trying to set me up with is hopeful. I will come around, and I won't.
Mm,
I feel bad and can't get my parents to stop. Help. Christina, I'd just be like, I'm not talking about this no more.
right.
I don't know what else to tell y'all, but I'm not doing this. And like,
Can't
good
do it.
luck to her. Good luck
Mm-hmm.
to her. You know, really, really rooting for her.
Yeah.
But not for me. Not for me. Yeah. I don't think it should be even a discussion. It's like, I'm not doing that. And just because we're both lesbians doesn't mean we just like, it's not like Velcro, like where we're just, it doesn't, oh, lesbian, lesbian. You can just, match pairs
Wow.
and shit. Like, it's kind of weird to just be like, oh, you're a lesbian, you're a lesbian. Like, so yeah, just a hard no. And then like, there's no more explaining, Christina. Like, it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
no, I don't,
No.
no, no.
That was also a
So,
really great explanation as well. The Velcro pieces.
yeah, like, oh,
Great
a
visual.
lesbian and
Haven't
lesbian,
heard that.
like
Put them
pair
together.
them
I mean,
up, put
that's
them
what they do
together. You know what
whenever,
I'm saying?
like, for the queer friends. It's like,
Yeah,
oh, you're queer, so you must know this person. You're like, no,
yeah, no,
I don't.
it
Sorry, I
didn't.
didn't check the directory
Not
this
in,
morning. My
right.
bad.
It's not in the phone book and all
Mm-hmm.
that. So yeah, woof. Mm. Too supportive. Too supportive. She's like, all right,
Like,
that's enough.
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 So yeah, that's. I
Yeah,
mean, you're not a
yeah.
bad queer for this.
I don't know what else. It's Chris's answer, I think, is the best one. To
Just a no.
just change the subject every time they bring it up.
Right.
Every
I've
time.
given
Or
you my
like,
answer. I've given
right.
you my answer on that.
Or like bring up something that like they just don't like talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
just like as a pivot, they'd be like, oh, let's talk about what do you think about that girl Stephanie? And then you're just like, did you know that foot fungus can attack at any moment? Have you seen like, just
Yeah.
solid pivots. And the good thing is like, again, with boundaries, you have to realize the action that you take in that. So if the moment that your
Mm,
parents bring it up, you could say, each time that you bring up this conversation, I am going to leave the room. I am going to
yeah.
exit the conversation. I am going to change
That
the
therapy
subject because
talk.
that's the thing that you control. So if you set that
Boundaries are
boundary
for
with your
you.
parents, thank you so much. If you set that boundary with your parents and say, each time you bring this up, here's what's going to happen, you better act on it. You better
Yeah.
act
You
on it.
have to.
Even if
You
they
have
bring it
to.
up 10 times, you better stand up off that couch and walk out of the room 10 times and be like, are we done here?
Ain't gonna be 10 times. It's just like you bring it up again, I'm going home.
Going
Like
home.
that is like one time. Like, cause
I
yeah,
hope
that
you don't
shit
live
is
at home.
weird. It's
That's the
just
main
like
thing. I'm
I
thinking of
know.
this as if the person is living at home.
Oh
I honestly don't
man.
know. I don't know if you do. So I hope you
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah, just well, yeah, you could
But
still
if you
leave.
do,
Yeah.
separate
Go to another
yourselves.
room. Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise, yeah, go home.
Otherwise,
I don't care if you drove however
yeah,
far. Go home. Hang up
go
the
home.
phone instantly. Oh, lost
All right, I
service.
gotta go. If you're gonna be
Gotta
talking
go.
about this, we already talked about this.
Thank you.
So
Got a busy night.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just like, well, y'all redirect your energy into making a fucking like dating profile for this girl instead of trying to convince me. Like, help her out. Like,
Right.
don't use me. So
Help
yeah, no.
her out. I'm
Help her
home.
out. Yeah, you could be making a dating profile instead of trying to convince me of something I told you I gave you a hard no on. So
Yeah.
yeah. So don't feel bad.
Don't feel bad.
Don't feel bad.
Thanks for writing in, Christina.
Hmm.
All right. This next one comes from Ryan. Ryan says, am I a bad queer? My girlfriend just broke up with me saying that she needed time to herself. We got into a relationship fairly quickly after she had just been out of another one. So I completely understand that. She says she needed a year and then we could get back together. Do I wait for her? I love her so much and don't want to leave her.
No, I
Ryan,
need 365 days.
Ryan, we don't need 525,600 minutes to
Hate that I
figure
know
these
that
things out.
reference.
Okay. What was that?
I hate that I know this reference.
I
That's what
love
I
that you
said.
know this reference.
Hate
Congratulations.
that I
Good job,
know.
friend.
Yeah.
Good job, friend. Okay. You do not need that.
To watch it. Sorry. Sorry. Personal.
Don't start. Don't. Mm-mm. Um, You don't. You don't got to wait for her. I know you love her, but you don't. You need to go ahead and live your life because what's meant for you won't miss you. So if y'all
Mm,
end up back together in a year or further, congratulations. But don't stop your life for this person because in the meantime, she could find somebody else. She could keep it pushing, keep it moving, do all the things because she decided to live her life and you decided to pause your life.
yeah. Mm-mm.
And that's not what you're going to do. If you all end up back together, great. But don't hold your life back waiting for this person. You need to continue to go out and date, fuck, travel, love yourself, do all of the things that you want to do, accomplish all the things that you want, embrace life by yourself and love on yourself, and then see if you want to in a year. That's up to
Yeah.
you.
She might grow into a different person that you don't
Mm-hmm.
even, you're like, ooh. So there's no need to wait because you don't know. And I'd say it's mature of her to know, like, all right, I do need some time. She gave you that year time frame, which is like
Mm-hmm.
that could always change. Um, yeah, you don't have to stop loving her. You could wish her the best and y'all could, keep in touch, but I don't think you need to wait on
Yeah.
her at all. And like make sure that you communicate that to her too, where it's just like I wish you the best and healing and clarity, but I am not waiting.
Mm-hmm.
So, and even if you're like, I'm not gonna wait for her, but you like subconsciously do, like, don't do that. Like just, again, all the eat, pray, the gay ass eat, pray, love things that Shana just said. Go do those things. Like go travel and fuck and have fun, So, and then yeah, maybe y'all meet each
It's
other in
so
the end and it works.
disrespectful.
I mean, but it's true. Like it's like the like the stuff you should go do. Like go be selfish and before you get back in a
Okay.
relationship. And you don't know if that person's still gonna. You'd be like, oh, you're gonna be a different person in a year, so might not be down. So go gay, eat, pray, love, right? And happy fall because we're there. We're there. I feel like that's the best advice that we've given ever.
Ever?
Ever. No,
Okay.
I'm just playing, but you're like, ever.
I was
Yeah,
like,
no.
what?
Yeah, this one right here.
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, we're gonna move on from our advice segment. Just keep it short and sweet, since the category is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
again, send your questions to all the places I mentioned before, our website at badqueers.com, on IG, and by email. So
All right.
thank y'all.
What type of backwards would we be if we didn't have unpopular queer opinions? So I so mine came from a conversation with a friend, with a good friend, recently, and I could not for the life of me come up with the word straight. I was like comparing a queer something with a straight something, and for whatever reason, I could not think of the word straight. I was like, oh yeah, like this
Hmm.
person's queer, they date this person, da, da, da. And then this person's more general. So they go, and my friend stopped me and was like, by general, do you mean straight? And I was like,
Hmm.
I did. I did. And now my bad
That's
queer
so funny.
opinion is I want to advocate a rebrand of straight to just being general,
Okay.
basic, if you would. Okay. Beyonce gave us unique. So I
Mm-hmm.
think this works.
Mm-hmm.
I think this works for everybody. And you just look around and be like, oh, you're just so general. That's unfortunate. You're not queer, you general.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. It
Hmm.
just has a bit more power to it, in my opinion.
General.
Mm.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. General. I gotta sit with that. General. Like I was like, let me do a quick thesaurus search
Of like what
for
else? What
general.
else it could be?
Yeah.
What are the other options?
There's a widespread, common, extensive, universal,
Common.
wide. I don't know why wide, maybe laugh. Popular, public, mainstream, prevalent, prevailing, established, well established, broad, imprecise, inexact. It's kind of funny. Rough, sweeping, overall, loose, basic, approximate,
Basic.
non-specific. Oh, non-specific,
Non-specific.
unspecific, vague. I love vague. I was just like vague.
I don't know. That person was queer and that person was just kind of vague.
Just
Like
kind of
just
vague.
think if
It's
you don't know, you're
hilarious.
just like, nah, that person's just kind of vague. Like I don't
Some vague shit. I don't know. Could be anything. Hazy, fuzzy, and woolly. I love vague.
Vague,
I
vague
like
brings
vague.
me so much
It's
joy.
awesome.
If you were just like, I
Vague
don't know what
shit
that
is.
person's identity was. It just seemed kind of vague. They were just vague. You're
I
like, look at
like
that.
that.
I don't know.
Yeah. I do like the movement from straight to general to even vague for us. Like I think vague is funny as shit. I don't know, some vague shit they got going on
It was like,
there.
and
Yeah.
it's like respectful enough, but it gets the point across
Yeah, it's like it is. It gets the point across and it's a little shady, and
a
that's what
little
I
bit.
like. A little shady because it's like I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what the fuck y'all doing over there.
What y'all doing?
Um,
That's
I
looking
like
real
that.
vague over there.
I do like
Mm.
non-specific.
Non-specific was pretty
Non-specific
great.
too. So
Like y'all just over
I
here
love
being
it.
general.
Yeah.
I don't fucking
But
know.
I do like the rebrand of straight. Like I think that that is
I feel like people have put too much power amongst straight, and I'm just like,
yeah. Yeah.
what if we, and it, like when you do general, it was like the way that I said it was so offhand, where I was just like, I don't know. And that guy over there was, he was just real general. And then I kept continuing my story. And my friend just circled back and was like, wait.
It's
You
general.
said general as a switch for straight. And I was like, I
Yeah,
did.
I did.
Yeah, sure did. And it felt right. It felt right. It felt good and it felt right. So for all of you listening, test that out in the streets,
Yeah.
take that home, see if it gets the impact that we hope. And then let us know. Let us know if it worked or
Yeah.
not. Because I had a solid chuckle, a deep
That's
giggle,
funny.
if you would. So just want to see if that brings you all the same joy.
That's so funny. Mm. Well, my bad queer opinion. Uh, white queers. You know, insert here. You could go a lot of ways with starting things off with a deep sigh and
Hmm.
white queers, comma. But when are y'all gonna have a serious conversation with Billie Eilish about this 90s Y2K black uncle cookout attire that she's like committed to, like she's leaned into? Like she's always wore like pretty baggy stuff, but I
Hmm.
don't know what the fuck is going on. Like particularly this year, just like deep diving into the cosplay of it and like
Hmm.
what's going on, who's gonna step up, um, and obviously just generally what the fuck, you know? It's like Billy, you don't have to do this. You're so talented, and it's a thing of like if you wanted to wear it sometimes, cool, you know, dip into that. But yeah, it's been just kind of weird to see.
Hmm.
And again, everybody's fashion is their fashion, but yeah, she is. This is interesting.
Hmm.
It's very interesting stuff. It's like I know I'm gonna see she's gonna come out with lugs soon. It's gonna happen. Some woo wear, all that mecca. She might bring back 555 Soul.
Mm.
Like it is just all there for her. Um, I don't know what's going on there, but one of y'all go talk to her and tell her it's okay to not do that.
Mm.
You don't have to do that.
Hmm.
You, hey, you can love our culture and not put it on as a costume, you know? It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah. It's okay. So somebody get to her, somebody talk to her, because I don't know, you know, what's going on. So
Yeah.
talented though. Love her. Love, love Billy. So talented. But stop. Stop. No more lugs. Okay. And that's it. That's all I have.
It's a great PSA. Let the people know.
Yeah. No more lugs.
No more.
Mm-mm.
Thank you
We're
so much.
not going back.
Mm-mm.
Or at least you. Like we can. We can.
No,
But you know, we lived it.
she's not going back.
She's not going
She's not
back.
going back.
She's not going back.
Mm-mm.
So mm. hmm all right.
Thank
This
you.
feels good.
Thank you, friend. Calling the
Yeah.
people in to do the work.
And that's
So,
it. Calling it in, not calling her out.
mhm,
Not calling
mhm,
her out.
mhm.
Not calling her out. You know how we gently told Adele, like, hey girl,
Ah, yes.
you don't
I'll
have to do
remind her when I go see her in a couple weeks. Yeah,
that. That's right. You're about
I'll
to
remind
see
her.
her. Yeah. And see, and she didn't take offense to it. I know
Hmm.
there was a big diaspora war after that because that was more of a London Jamaican thing.
Hmm.
But you know, it was some correction needed there.
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
think that that worked out. And, you know, Adele still loves and seems to have a very healthy appreciation of Black culture without cosplaying in it anymore. So,
Yes,
yeah. And I think Billy will be open to this too. Somebody just needs to talk to her.
yes.
Hey,
Mm-mm.
girl. Mm-mm. No,
No, let it go.
no.
Let it go.
Mm-mm.
Next,
Don't do that.
next.
You don't have to do this. So,
It's okay. It's okay. All right. Well,
Good
on
talk.
that note, let's go ahead and wrap up this show. But we would never leave you without giving shout outs to our faves. My shout out this week goes to Lesbifriends Travel. They provide unique and intentional travel and social experiences for queer people of color while creating an environment that supports building lifelong bonds and friendships. This year, they are going to Portugal and Spain, Thailand and Belize, and they already have their 2025 trips listed. So if you want to get involved, if you want to go travel with some queers, go over there, head to their page, follow and support at Lesbi, Friends Travel on IG.
All right, this is a double shout out again to Quita Love Sports. I shouted Quita out in February, but re-shouting Quita out because her coverage of women's basketball in the WNBA has been superb. It's the place to go. She has a really good, thorough breakdown of the Dearica Hamby lawsuit if you want to dive more into it, but just general coverage has been good, and it's been cool to see her numbers and subscribers go up during this season. So if you haven't subscribed to her YouTube channel, Quita Loves Sports, we'll have it in the description. And yeah, continue to support.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Take care.